Hi, today we want to talk about basic care and maintenance of an automatic floor scrubber. I want to start with personal protection equipment, especially in this time. Automatic floor scrubbers could be picking up any type of bacteria or virus. So make sure you put gloves on. Another thing you need to do is you always want to protect your eyes. So I've got eyeglasses on, but typically you want to get some sort of eye protection as well when you want to clean up a machine. All right? So I'm going to kind of start at the top of the machine. On this machine, the dirty water tank is right here on top. All right? Nice and wide open. There's a few things that needs to be maintained on this. First of all, as you're cleaning, the debris tray will fill up with debris that needs to be cleaned out, so that will need to be rinsed thoroughly. In addition, you've got a float mechanism, and inside this float mechanism is a ping pong ball, and the ball goes up and it blocks the airflow when the tank is full. So you need to keep this assembly nice and clean. Rinse that off on a regular basis. In addition, inside here, let me grab and pull it out, there's an air filter. You need to keep the air filter clean at all times. If you don't clean this filter, get all the lint and stuff off this, it will reduce the suction you're getting from the floor, and the machine will not perform properly. So when it comes to the machine, you want to make sure you drain the machine fully. There's a drain on the machine. The machine can be drained into a slop sink, like you see here, or possibly into a mop and bucket, and you open it up. This one has a squeeze tube, so you can really control the flow of water that comes out of the machine. Once the water is drained, you need to take a hose, and you really need to hose the inside of this tank thoroughly. Clean it down, get all the dirt removed from the machine. It's critical you get all the dirt out. Then when it comes to any one of these machines, this particular machine has a little kickstand that'll hold the tank open. If the tank is open, then it'll dry, all right? If you don't have a little kickstand, always just leave the cover partly open. That way the tank will dry out and you won't get any odors from anything that might have been left behind. So that's the basics of the dirty water tank. I think I'm going to go down the machine. The next level in here we're going to talk about is the batteries. So this particular machine has sealed batteries. These are AGM batteries. And AGM batteries, basically you'd never have to open them up and add water. If you did have wet-filled batteries, you need to maintain those and look at those cells, each cell once a week. On these machines, the most important thing is to charge it properly. So after you've used about a third of the runtime, you can effectively charge the machine without damaging it. Work through your shift, then charge the machine. It's imperative that you let the machine completely recharge these batteries and then cool down before you use it the next time. So generally, these machines might run for 3.5 hours. So you're going to have about a 6 or 7 hour charge time and a 3 to 4 hour cool down time. So that's critical. This particular machine has an off-board charger, so you would plug it into the back of the machine or here and charge those batteries. Next thing I want to talk about is the clean water tank. This is where you would fill this machine. You want to fill this machine up. You could use one of these dispensers so you get the correct amount of solution in the machine. On this particular machine, as you fill the machine up, there's a sight tube here. And there's a little red float. I don't know if you can see it too well, but that red float, as you fill this tank up, That float will come up so you can tell how much water's in the tank. It's really important at the end of a shift when you're cleaning up a machine that you drain this tank. If a machine sits over the weekend for 2 or 3 days, sometimes the soap can gel up that's left in the tank. You want to rinse the tank out. All right, and so on this machine, there's a knob right here, kind of an indication on the machine, and this is where I would open this up to drain the tank out. In addition, on this machine as well, there's a clean water filter. So the plumbing that brings the water into your building might not be that pure. You can get sand, you can get rust, you can get different debris comes in. And this here is the filter. And the filter will get dirty on the inside. So you need to take this assembly, rinse it thoroughly, rinse this thoroughly as well. And then you can reassemble, put that filter back in. All right, so the filter's been done. So when it comes to the clean water, you should rinse the tank periodically, drain all the water out like we showed you, and also look at that filter. That filter should be looked at probably once a week if you use the machine every day. Next thing I want to talk about is the squeegee. So on the machine, squeegee, maintenance to a squeegee, the first thing that's most important is to make sure it's adjusted properly. And as I push this, I can see the tips are up a little. So the adjuster is right in here. Can you see the red knob? And I just turned that adjuster a little bit, and now the squeegee blade is laying over perfectly. That can be adjusted either way to get a perfect edge to your blade. The other maintenance on a squeegee, this is a daily maintenance item. Is the blades. So basically, you have two blades. You have a blade that receives the water in a controlled fashion into the blade. Then you have the drying blade, which dries on the ground. And it's really important to take this off, rinse this thoroughly, and then this blade especially needs to be wiped completely down so there's no lint and debris. Anything gets left on this blade, it's going to leave streaks on the floor, and no one wants that. All right? The next important thing here with the squeegee to show you is the squeegee has 4 edges, 4 good blades. So you get a blade right here, a corner there, a corner here, a corner up here, and a corner there. So how do you flip the blade? On this machine, it's very easy. You don't need any tools. Take off the band, unclip it. So right now the squeegee is using this blade. So all I want to do, so the blade was there, I just turned it, all right? So we went from that blade to this blade. Now, if I switch it end for end, we've flipped over now, I'm on the 3rd side, then we flip it back and you get to the 4th blade. So there's 4 good edges you can get out of this blade. This particular machine I really like because it's got little guides to put the squeegee on, so the squeegee will stay right in place. You reassemble it the same way you took it apart. All right. The final thing I want to talk about on the machine is the pads. Whether you have a pad driver, or in this case, this is an orbital scrubber, you need to take this pad off, or the brush, every day, and it needs to be cleaned. So how do we do that? You just rip the pad off of this here, the Velcro grip face. And take it up here. And you can see there's debris along the edges, all around on this, so that if you don't rinse this, you're going to have a nasty pad to use the next day. It's a very simple thing. Just rinse all the dirt and debris down and get it nice and clean. So that's the basics of your daily and periodic maintenance on an automatic floor scrubber. Clean your dirty tank, maintain the batteries properly, rinse and take care of the clean water tank, change the filter, clean the filter, maintain your squeegee properly, and on a daily basis take care of the pad. And your machine will run strong and perform like new.